I'm sure you're excited to see our guest today. We have Patricia Vierya, and she is part of the 13th Annual Lady Filmmakers Film Festival. And we're going to talk to her about this and, of course, a lot more. So welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I love talking about film festivals. And honestly, it's something fun to do, especially with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you even find the Lady Filmmakers?
I started Lady Filmmakers 13 years ago. It was just kind of came out of a lot of conversations with talented women who I just couldn't believe weren't, working more in bigger budget films and television shows that, that were kind of helping me out with my start in the career as a filmmaker. And I don't know, I guess I just enjoyed bringing people together to check out people's cool films. And it just kind of evolved that way to go, hey, maybe we should do something about women in this business not getting a fair shake. And I love, inviting people to come see cool films and meet cool filmmakers and talented filmmakers and hopefully help them get their career moving along.
Well, I'm sure you see a lot of fun stuff. Like, I'm sure you've seen some that are like lower budget, but yet like more of a documentary than I've. Do you have any that are like really high AI type of films and stuff like that with high graphics and all these other computer generated stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, we have incredible like CG films, animated films. We also have like the old school drawn animated films. We also have films with a lot of visual effects. We actually have a lot of robot films this year. I think that must be an artificial intelligence must be really something on the tip of many filmmakers and creatives' brains. So we got so many films. We actually have a really cool lineup of those films dealing with very like human looking robots replacing other people. So it's kind of terrifying in my opinion.
Well, maybe they're talking about like the attack of the apocalypse with the robots that everybody's been saying for years.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. The trends that we get every year, and this year it's like just bombarded by all these very unique perspectives of robots and artificial intelligence this year. So I imagine we'll see more of that coming down the pipeline. But yeah, no, we get all kinds of really cool effects, and it's really neat to see what people do in a low budget, and it's really amazing how creative people can get from a budget standpoint, but then also what they achieve creatively on the screen.
I think that's really important because, we think that we need big studios, but now that kind of things like YouTube and everything else has come out, has allowed people to be a little bit more creative on their own side. So we're seeing some amazing things coming out of people that we don't necessarily need a big studio for. And I think that's kind of important.
Yeah, for sure. It hopefully will level the playing field, but I'm also a sucker for like, the old school traditional, like go to a big movie and, get your popcorn with your friends or your loved ones and, experiencing that. So I hope the transition to those like, very short, quick videos and content does not eliminate the bigger, longer projects, just because, the long form is enjoyable, it's classic, but definitely the studio system, probably in the way distribution works and all that, is definitely needs to evolve to get with the times, that's for sure.
Now, any of these films that are in this film festival, do they have the ability to actually go and be in a theater? I mean, do they have that capabilities?
Yeah, we're actually in the theater right now. Social distance, we were able to move to a much larger theater this week. So we went from like a small, intimate, like 55 seat theater to a 410 seat theater. And we're only, capping it at 100 seats total. So we're selling about 50 to 60 tickets and then allowing filmmakers and people with badges to come in and enjoy also. So, and then keep everybody separated, which is really nice. But then we have the virtual component, which you can watch from the comfort of your living room if you're not comfortable going out, or if you're just in Florida or in France or Australia or Kenya, you can watch the the entire festival program as long as you have internet, which is really amazing.
Now, I know these things are kind of judged, and I think that one of the things that I found when I was a photographer is that I never had a chance to win a good prize because I was always put into a generalized spectrum. So it's like I'd be competing against somebody that did like extremely fine art. And obviously they're two different things. So I never had the chance to win. And I get that. I mean, they're very talented, and people that can do that should absolutely win. But do you have a different category for each one, so everybody has the ability to have a chance to be in that genre or maybe that level of where they are so they can compete against the same type of people?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we definitely have we're very generous with our awards. We actually give a lot of awards. We do like kind of like subcategories. So we do like best ladies illuminate, and which is like our sort of like social causes awareness, things like that. And then ladies but, which could be like a comedy or really badass animated film. And then we have like the Halloween teasers, and we've got family friendly, LGBT. It's like we have all these like little like you won the best in this particular category, and then but then we have like the best short and best feature. So there's definitely we have there's a few other awards that we do. So we definitely try to, again, I know awards help filmmakers get noticed and recognition, and maybe helps them with their next project. And so we're really excited to be able to do that. And we don't just give them away. I mean, they're awesome films. But we kind of feel like if you're in the festival, you've already won, because we try to treat everybody like they're amazing. So hopefully people will continue to recognize how great our content is and agree with that.
So let's just say I'm a filmmaker and I want to have my particular work of art, or work, yeah, it is work of art, in your festival. Obviously, you're going to have some regulations, you can have some stipulations that got to be met and everything else. What are some of those, so I would be able to know if my work would even qualify?
So basically, you just have to have a female or female identifying person who is writer, director, producer, cinematographer, editor, or production designer. And you just have one person in those roles. We also can do that for our art, photography, or music submissions as well.
Cool. Now, obviously, once I'm in, what should I expect? How does the process work once I'm qualified?
Well, once you submit your submission to the festival, then our team of judges goes through and watches the projects and grades them. And then at the end of the festival submission cycle, we go through the grades and see what rises to the top. And then unfortunately, we don't have enough time to even select all of those. So then we have to like, okay, we gotta weed through these and little people out, and it's just basically a process of elimination after our team goes through and watches, which is a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of consideration. So sometimes, like as an example, you get like 10 robot films, and it's like, okay, we're not going to show 10 robot films. Like, okay, what are the best ones out of that? Or so it just yeah, it's pretty cool. And the diverse amount of stories and types of storytelling is really incredible to get to review every year.
Now, obviously, the festival is going on right now. So is it still too late to enter, or would it have to be like an entry for next year?
It's for next year. Yeah, we're in full swing. Our program's set. You can check out our full program on our website, which is ladyfilmmakers.com. And you can also submit your film or your episodic script or screenplay, music, or photography, art project through our website, which will take you to Film Freeway. And then that's where you can submit and find out where you fit in the categories, and go from there. And we're still in the early bird section, so it's the cheapest time of year to submit your work.
So we can start to submit it for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, I guess I kind of want to figure out, once the festival happens, you said it's online, but is it also something you can go visit too. Is it going to be a physical one as well? And if so,
Yeah,
where?
yeah, we're at the Fine Arts Theater in Beverly Hills. And yeah, we're in this like big, huge theater, and we're social distancing. We've got caution tape between rows of seats and asking people to spread out, from their groups. And yeah, it's an incredible old classic theater built, I think, in 1935.
Wow,
So
I love those.
it's really beautiful. It's got these old, I don't know, what are those, like those gas old light bulb type of light fixtures, and just is really just very interesting to be inside there, and the big old red curtains on the front stage that come back, and it's you feel like you're just in old Hollywood. It's really neat.
When we do anything in life, there's usually a reason for us doing it. We're trying to solve a problem. We're trying to answer something that's missing out there. So what was some of the reasoning behind creating the Lady Film Festival, the Lady Filmmakers Film Festival?
Um, there were lots of reasons, but I guess it just really came out of like the shock at how many really talented women who had a great sort of like pedigree with like their training and then their reel and their body of work, and they were just so far behind in what they were getting hired for than their male counterparts, that to me did not have the same experience or artistic eye that the women that I had met and interviewed and seen their work, and just hearing their stories and hearing some of the discrimination they'd experienced. And I mean, there's just a lot of really crazy things. And then I was like, oh gosh, I didn't even go to film school. And I don't even have those connections. And look at all these other talented people that I've been meeting. And like, it was just like, it didn't seem like there was a place that really celebrated women and a woman's voice, and just a level playing field, and that also promoted diversity within women's the women's spectrum there. But we definitely wanted to, I guess, just try to make the world a little bit friendlier to female artists, I guess. That's where, I guess, where it started from. And then also create a space for myself, like, where do I fit in with all this? So surrounding myself with other people that are all striving for the same thing. It's like a rising tide, raises all ships. So, but yeah, just wanting to, improve things for women, and, just get our stories out there, that sort of thing.
Well, I do know that Hollywood has always been very male dominated in every role, not just the actors, but the people behind the camera, and probably more so the people behind the camera. So
Yeah.
since you started this Lady Filmmaker Film Festival, Jesus.
It's a tongue tire. It is for sure.
Have you seen any changes? Is it starting to change a little bit more than when you first started?
I would say yes and no. I mean, I definitely, seen some movement forward, but it's like, is it going to be consistent? It's just like, see, was it Catherine Zhao, seeing her win the Academy Award for directing. It's like, well, how long was it between her and Catherine Bigelow? And it's just, I don't know. We'll just see how like consistent these changes are. And definitely saw some Emmy-winning directors this season, and hopefully it'll just continue to change, and we'll see just more diversity across the spectrum. And it's not going to be just like appear like, oh, we're reacting to something, and we got to put on a good show and show these types of people and and hire these types of people. It's like, just give everybody a shot, give everybody a chance, be more reflective of the society we live in. And but it definitely seems like there's some progress right now. It's just that I'm just a little leery of like trends, and are people going to forget about it next week for the next cause? And it's just like, well, no, these are just, should always be this way. It shouldn't just be considered a cause. It's just, equality should be a human right.
That's a very positive and powerful statement, because it's like a lot of people do jump on these things like, okay, women aren't here. So they get behind it for a little bit and then they just kind of, it fades off. And it's like,
Right.
it's the next greatest thing to be a part of and fight for. But
Yeah.
it shouldn't matter the sex that you are. If you're
Right.
talented, you should have a shot, period.
Exactly. And unfortunately, it just doesn't have, history tells us, that that's not how it works. So, it just look at the numbers, and I don't have them on memory, sorry. But I mean, you can literally look and see at, over time, there's big think tanks that put that data together. And, but no, I definitely see some improvement. I think women are being treated better on set, things like that. There's more things in place to protect people from really bad behavior. Hopefully with the Me Too movement, a lot of things will continue to change in the right direction for with that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I'm positive, but yeah, at the same time, I'm like, okay, hopefully this trend doesn't just go, okay, well, that was that, and we got to fight another 10 years from now, be able to swell up again and get people behind promoting women and again. So hopefully it's just
Happens.
an issue. Yeah.
So since you
Everybody's like,
started this
yeah,
film,
lady filmmakers, and I'm like, well, I guess when we get to the point where we don't need to promote just women filmmakers, then I'll retire my hat. So until that's, when everything's equal, sure, I'll just start, I'll just change the name.
there you go.
It's like, sure, all right, I will, no problem.
So since you started this 13 years ago, obviously there's been some really satisfying things that have come from this. What have been some of the most satisfying things for you to see happening and maybe just feel accomplished about?
It's really cool to see people on their journey as a filmmaker, and when people are like, they've met people at our festival and then they turned around and collaborated and brought that project back to our festival. That's really satisfying because you're just like, oh, I'm connecting people that are really happy creatively to work together and have made meaningful connections. So I get really excited about that. And then also when I've seen people mentor other filmmakers that they've met at the festival, and then like on a larger scale, like we had I think Bryce Dallas Howard's directorial debut and like Olivia Wilde's directorial debut, and then it's like, wow, look what they're doing now. When they were just kind of knocking around, I think the idea that yeah, I like to direct too, but they were big acting stars. So so that's kind of cool to see people across the spectrum, you kind of taking those first steps with us and then going on to do big things. I hope they all remember us, when they're all big and to their big directing or whatever it is, that their chosen path that they've gone on from our festival.
So obviously you've directed or produced movies yourself, and you've been in the field. So what advice would you give to maybe young women, maybe young men, maybe both, if they wanted to pursue this career?
Basically just try to start creating your own content, try to volunteer or take the lowly PA job, so to speak. Just try to get experience on set, offer to help out, learn. Don't get in the way, but try to offer a helping hand and just learn by doing any way you can. And that's just the best way to get started, and just try different things. You're going to have to wear different hats and be open-minded to like, okay, I'm going to really have to be the person that also takes out the trash every day. Or you're going to have to do crafty and direct and do this and do that. It's like you just can't stick your nose up at doing anything when you're starting out. You got to just put yourself out there. And also going to film festivals, meeting other filmmakers, volunteer at film festivals. You can make some great friends volunteering at a film festival such as ours, and then you'll meet other great filmmakers who are always looking for help. And if you have a great attitude, they'll be like, sure, I'm filming next week. Do you want to be on set? I need another PA, or I could use an assistant or whatever. And it's like, you're literally going to insert yourself on an incredible set with a person who's really genuinely cares that, to help other women. So to move up, and guys too, I'm sure. I mean, it's just our festival logo, or sort of log line, is, we celebrate lady filmmakers and the men who collaborate with them. So we're very men friendly. We're just friendly to everybody. Just like, if you support diversity and equality, you're welcome. so it's just we try to be very welcoming to everybody, and yeah, just put yourself out there, make yourself available, and learn by doing. So that's my very long-winded answer to that question.
I like long-winded answers, so don't worry about that.
So
I guess one of the things that I have always been asked, and I don't quite know how to explain it to people, is the difference between a producer and a director. What is the different roles, and how does it work on set?
So the not that a producer can't be creative, but the director is the person who comes up with like a shot list of like what they want to see, what they want the camera to show when telling the story. They work with the actors, they work with the cinematographer to come up with like the look of the film and the feel of the film, and they actually direct all the action on set. A producer is the person that's like helps put it all together. They're the ones that help put the money together. They're the ones that help hire people. They support the director, and if the director's like, I need this, I need that, I would really like a dolly for this shot, or I want a techno crane, and then the producer's like, yeah, we don't have money for that, but let me help come up with an alternative solution to getting you the shot that you want, or like let's work through this. And so that's their job, is to make the production happen in various capacities.
So it's really important for both of them to really work together.
Yes. You definitely have to work with your producer. And of course, like in the indie world, many people are both the producer and the director and the writer and whatever else they had to do to get it done. So.
Well, we are about running out of time, and I would love to be able to get you to talk about where people can find it, how people can submit to it. If you have any social media links, I'd love those as well. And anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, so we have just a great lineup of films, and basically you can find us at ladyfilmmakers.com, and that'll take you to the virtual site. You can click on the buy tickets, and there's an option to buy virtual tickets or an option to buy in-person tickets. And the virtual just takes you straight to the film festival flicks. You can get a day pass, so you can, like, as soon as you buy it, you can watch anything for 24 hours that's on the festival channel. And then or you get an all access pass, and it's like an all you can eat for as much as you want to watch until the festival ends on October 3rd. And all of our social media is just at Lady Filmmakers on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So that's where we're at. That's where we can find us.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing this. I really hope people go and enjoy the films. Of course, that's the most important part. But also, I hope it inspires people that want to try it and realize that there are things out there for them to get their stuff known, as opposed to just like YouTube and Vimeo and all those other places. So thank you for being a part of this. And I really hope that we can make a difference for you.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's people like you taking the time to talk to me and other people who do independent festivals that help raise the voice and elevate the image of the people that are involved and the filmmakers and the films. And it's just because all the big trades don't always pay attention to our work, and luckily we did get into those this year. But we also need people like you that have been supporting festivals like ours like over the years, and giving the filmmakers the recognition they deserve, because they've been making great films all along.
I love a good film. I love a good art put together collaboration for it. And yeah. I'm really excited to see what you got this year. So thank you again for coming on.
Thanks for having me. And I hope you'll check out some of our films. We're happy to give you a pass for something like that if you're interested.
I will.
Okay, thanks.
And guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I got to pay bills, but we'll be right back after this to close out the show. Don't go anywhere.
Like, OMG, you were on TV and junk.